Some kids will test your patience, and that's totally okay and normal. But when you are a teacher, right, any type of teacher, and you have a classroom setting of more than 5 children, right, you need rules, right? You need discipline in the classroom. Your child can't just be running around and doing as they please, because you're one person with all these little kids that you need to instruct.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's complaining about not having the parental support is mind-blowing to me.
Not even just the parental support, just like what she's seeing is not even just like they're not listening.
They're not listening. They're being disrespectful. And then when she tries to get the parent on board to, let's fix this. And she seems, I know that there could be exceptions to this rule, and there might be teachers who can be, who shouldn't be teachers, right? But by the tone of this young lady and the way she's presenting herself in this video, she seems like a very sweet young lady.
Yeah.
And we should, like, as parents, again, I agree with her, because I know I'm not a teacher and I'm not in that setting. But, you don't have to be in that setting to sometimes see and observe how us, the parents, we are failing our kids sometimes. Yeah. Is this happening way too much, where the kids are way too much time on their own and they're not getting any discipline in the home with even like little things, being, clean, or your neatness, your room. Like, there's just little things that you can do in your home, even to make your child understand that you're a kid, I'm the adult, and you need to respect me. And there's a lot of, different arguments about like gentle parenting and all this stuff. And listen, I don't believe in like beating up your kid for everything. And, sometimes a little in the hand won't hurt, I didn't grow up in a household where I was beaten up, but, like, my parents were definitely not soft on me, like, at all.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be physical to be hard on a kid.
Exactly. For a child to understand that they need to respect authority.
Like, I'm not physical, but I am hard on my kids. Like, they know I am
And
the authority.
all you have to do is literally speak to them in a tone where they understand it's business. Like, you are crossing the line right now. And for the most part, we haven't had an issue. Like, our kids are still, 10-year-old, 5-year-old. They've tested, our boundaries. Our kids are not perfect. We're not perfect parents. We're not trying to say that we have it all down packed and that we never have issues with our kids. They will test your boundaries. Like, they will do it.
Yeah, but testing and versus like what you're seeing, and I've seen it before, like, kids are getting wild. Even the way they speak and the words they use is because the parents either are using it with them in the house, or
the parents just allow it.
Yeah, or they just use it with anybody. So the kid's like, oh yeah, I could say this.
It's
like
normal.
It's a normal.
Right. And words have meaning. We can't continue to ignore the fact that you need to speak to people with respect, and your children need to understand that. We need to stop this thing of, like, making kids feel like you can talk to whoever you want in whatever tone you want. Like, that is not that's where respect starts. You can't allow your child to speak to older people as if they were the adults, and they have no respect for authority or adults. And again, maybe teach your children, maybe teach them that there are adults that may not be good, right? Because I have hard conversations with my kids, according to their level, right? Because I only have a 10 and a 5-year-old. So I can only have conversations that are on their level. I'm not going to start explaining things explicitly or having, these ridiculous conversations that are out of their age range. But, they do know that if an adult, crosses your boundary or makes you feel unsafe, touches you inappropriately, like, they know all these things. Like, you're not supposed to just do what they say because they're an adult. Yeah. They're clear of that. I've tried to explain that to them in many ways. But they also know that if they're in the presence of an adult, and if I feel safe enough as their parent to leave them with this adult, which is not many people. My kids just go to school and they're in the classroom with their teacher and they interact with anybody that's in the school building, or they're in my mother's house. My kids, I don't leave them with strangers at all. I don't leave them with nobody.
It's very rare.
It has to be a big emergency for me to have to do that, and I haven't had to go through that, thank God. But I don't just leave my kids with anybody. So if I trust myself leaving my kids with my mother, and even them, they know that they can come to me and tell me if something is wrong. They know that they are free to come and tell me. It doesn't matter who the person is. They should feel free to come and tell me when something is wrong, right? And we will address it. But they understand that they need to respect the elders. They need to respect my mother. They need to respect my father. They need to respect their auntie. They have to. It's not if you want to respect them, no. These are people you cannot disrespect. Actually, I teach them that they cannot disrespect anybody, even people on their own level. Yeah, is not acceptable. For me, you have to be kind to everyone. If somebody's being unkind to you, you let me know. You don't have to deal with them. But for you to just go around life with this entitlement, because this is what's happening. These kids are growing up and they're having this mentality of entitlement. They have this mentality of I can do, say, and do whatever I want, wherever I want. And that's not how the world works. That is not good for anyone.
It's going to be worse because once they start growing up and they get a reality check.
If you enjoyed this video, you can watch the full episode of our podcast here.